Yes, yes, it is visible.
Uh, so, uh, in our,
Would you please maximize your screen? Like you make it into, is it PowerPoint? There is one down top sorry, bottom right. Yes, possibly that, yes. Okay.
yeah, so our group were tasked to discuss the relationship between globalization and economic growth, and also evaluate how international trade, capital flows, and technological advancements have contributed to the economic growth of both developed and developing countries. We are providing empirical evidence or empirical examples.
Okay.
Um, so, as a matter of introduction,
Mm-hmm.
uh, globalization is achieved through a number of angles. We have international trade, we have capital flows, technological advancement. These play a pivotal role in developing, in enhancing economic growth for both developed and developing countries. However, research is showing different levels of impact for developing and developed countries. But all in all, there is a consensus in research that globalization has a positive impact on economic development and economic growth.
Okay.
Uh, to look at international trade for developed countries, it has the following positive impacts. It enhances efficiency and specialization. This makes countries to specialize in producing goods and services that they have competitive advantage in. For example, the automotive industry in Germany. Germany is specializing in the automotive industry because they have, with time, uh, grown competitive advantage in the production of various automotive products, including motor vehicles. There is also an advantage of market expansion, the access to global markets for products produced in the domestic country. So for developed countries, they have access to wider market both in developing and other developed countries. An example is the tech industry in the United States for products like Apple products, Apple watches, Apple phones, and oh, they have a greater market outside the United States. So international trade allows them to have that market access. For developing countries, they also have market access through globalization. It globalization does open up markets in larger countries and also other developing countries alike. So in this case, they enhance earnings, foreign exchange earnings, and then this also leads to economic growth and economic development within their jurisdiction. An example is given of Vietnam, which has experienced a economic growth through access or integration into the global market for exports of electronics and textiles. Uh, International trade also allows in developing countries to access innovative technology, which somehow is only available in developed countries. So through international trade, these big tech gurus, they do invest in developing countries. Thus, as such, the developing countries have that access to innovative technology. An example is given of India, which is now booming in the IT sector because of initial access to innovative technology from developed countries. In terms of capital flows, for developed countries, they also find investment opportunities in other countries, that's leading to continued growth of their country. This is done through foreign direct investment. An example is the US, which has made significant investments and production of their products in China, accessing both the cheap labor market in other countries, and also accessing various resources in enhancing the production of those products. Also, most developed countries, they have a developed financial service sector. They have sophisticated financial markets that attract global capital. So they also, this capital allow them to invest in various locations. An example is London, which is a financial hub. It attracts foreign investment, and also this investment capital is allow them to grow the economy through reinvestment and investing into other economies.
Well,
For developing countries, they benefit from foreign direct investment. An example is the China Belt and Road Initiative, which has helped infrastructure development in various developing countries in Asia and Africa. So these investments have promoted economic development by improving connectivity and facilitating trade. Developing countries also benefit from remittances from workers, migrant workers that remit their work proceeds back to their country. So this also helps to grow their home economies. An example is the Filipino workers whose remittances have been vital in promoting economic growth of the Philippines. In terms of technological advancement for developed countries, innovation and productivity is enhanced through technological advancements which drive innovation and improve productivity, which are essential for sustained economic development. An example is the Silicon Valley in the United States, which is the hub of technological advancements in the USA, which is also contributing largely to the economic growth of the United States. Also, developed countries, they are much centered on the in the global value chain. They dominate the high value segment of the global value chains, enabling to enhance their continued growth. The example here is also given of Germany, which is strengthening high precision in engineering and manufacturing within the global value chain. This contributes highly to the economic growth of Germany. The same is for developing countries. This allows the developing countries not to reinvent the wheel in terms of technological progress. They just adopt the sophisticated technology that has already been developed by other countries. The terminology used in this process is leapfrogging. An example is Kenya, which has adopted mobile banking technologies, the famous M-Pesa, which has revolutionized the financial sector in Kenya and also increased access to financial services to the masses. Technology advancements also enhance access to information. The internet has made information easily accessible, both for investment purposes and other purposes to entrepreneurs and small businesses. In general, trade is literature shows that there is a positive relation between trade and economic growth. A case in point here is the research by Franklin and Romer, which found that there is a positive relationship between international trade and economic development. The same positive relationship is postulated for FDI flows and development, and the same is also for technology and productivity. These are the resources that were used in our research, And I have here the list of the group members in our group. Thank you so much.
Okay. But don't remove the list. Don't remove Adan Hussein. Adan present. Rul Dahir. Rul Dahir. Rul Dahir is not around. Rul Dahir is absent. Nimho Abdurrahman present. Ali Yassin is present. Farhan Abnasir present. Amran Abdrazak present. Alexander Njiko and Yasmin. Is Yasmin present? It can't be possible. Yasmin. Did Yasmin contribute towards the compilation of the work you have presented? Hello? Alexander. Alexander,
Hello?
did Yasmin contribute to the work I have presented?
Yeah, she contributed.
Okay. Abdul Nasir Farhan, I wanted to ask, like we talked about the, in your presentation, you talked about the China belt, whereby it has constructed more of the infrastructures, especially roads in Asian part and also Africa. Then my question is, do you think the continuous pouring of money by China into these continents, is it having a long run positive effect or negative effect in the long run?
Repeat.
I'm saying in your presentation, we have seen that there is an element of transfer, that is foreign direct investment, whereby China has even started constructing infrastructures in most of the Asian and African countries. And it is characterized by giving out any amount of money it is interested in. So my question is, this continuous release of huge amounts of money by China, is it of good of advantage or disadvantage in the long run?
They have an advantage.
It is of advantage. How?
Such as transportation and exchange of raw materials and the transfer of infrastructure.
Sorry?
Oh. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah. They have many factors of advantages. They such as transportation, income, and infrastructure development, growth of economic or domestic economic, and so many.
So, okay, when you look at, Alexander, thanks for your presentation. When you look at what you have presented, indeed, we tend to see that most of the globalization and the development is enhancing the way we are seeing things and how production is being carried out. Like when we talk of the tech hub in Silicon Valley in the US, these people have been vital and very important when it comes to discovering new technologies needed. And we have seen that over time they have been fighting with China and Korea over the technology. Like the 4G, the 3Gs, I don't know whether you have been following up the history of That is the edge, internet, 2G, 3G, 4G. At the current time, we are at 5G. So all these are showing advancement. Nowadays, we no longer see anything. Like we're going to see that at times we shall not even need people to move from their home countries to go to foreign countries. Why? Because we are going to start now using the virtual means of meetings. You will stay in your country, but you join the virtual meeting as if you are in that place. So this is advancements in technology. And we are seeing that now even they are resorting, most of the developed countries are resorting to technology or technologies that use less inputs and maximize productivity. These efficiencies are aimed at seeing that, yes, due to the scarcity of resources, we can still get the wanted materials. Also, when you look at the China belt, yes, it is contributing. Almost in the East African countries, it has constructed roads. But the only disadvantage I'm seeing with this initiative is that China, as it comes into your country, it brings almost 75% of the workers from China. And the 25% is only from the recipient countries, which is of disadvantage. We need to see that it is contributing or benefiting, it is benefiting the citizens where the project is being implemented rather than every resource being repatriated after the construction. Because China is giving out loans, this is an element of globalization in construction of infrastructures, which is most importantly needed by every developing nation. But for the case of the developed world, they tend to compete in terms of productivity and technology advancement. So we shall see that most of the things are happening, but also, okay, great, I will find it. Thank you, Alexander. Also, we are seeing that this can only be possible if there is working together, if these nations are working together. Okay, Group F, thank you very much for your research and contributions. Thank you very much. Then Group B, who is presenting on behalf of Group B?
Hello.
Yes, Muhammad Sahal, you are the one presenting?
Yeah. Allow me to present.
Are you using a computer, a laptop?
A laptop.
Okay. Then let me give you the co-host rights such that you can share. You can go on, please.
Okay. Allow me start. Allow me start. I'm starting my presentation. The presentation concerns to evaluate the role of international trade organizations, such as World Trade Organizations, in shaping global trade policy. Discuss the effectiveness of the World Trade Organizations in resolving trade disputes, promoting fair trade practice, and supporting the integration of developing countries in the global trading system. For the last, provide examples of the key trade agreements and disputes managed by the WTO, World Trade Organization. Group B. Allow me explanation for my presentation. International trade organizations like the WTO, World Trade Organization, significantly shape global trade policy. The WTO
Muhammad
effectively
Sahal, did you try to maximize your screen? Very good.
The concern of our presentation, understanding of World Trade Organization, World Trade Organization, the beginning and value of oil of WTO, Why WTO and functions principle of World Trade Organization, structure and role of WTO, World Trade Organization, relevance and tribes and of World Trade Organization, agreements and the role, current issue, and so on. In my explanation, international trade organizations like WTO, World Trade Organization, it resolves trade disputes through its settlement system. Example, the cases of dispute that resolve WTO, like the USA and EU banana dispute and the China Red Earth dispute. World Trade Organization, intergovernmental organization which regulates the international trade, officially commenced 1st January 1995 under Macroeconomics Agreement, signed 123 nations in 1994, and replaced GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. They deal with the agriculture, textile, clothing, banking system, telecommunication, government, purchases, industrial standards, and product safety, food sanitation, regulations, intellectual property. The WTO, where's beginning? I'm at the beginning. The World Trade Organization came into being on January 1995, and it's extended in two major ways. First, GATT became only one of the three major trade agreements that went into the WTO. Second, the World Trade Organization was put on much stronger institutional footing than GATT. Fact file of WTO and the were signed. Geneva, Switzerland, established at this time at 1st January 1995, Uruguay round negotiation, 1986 and 1994, membership, 160 countries since 3rd November 2015. The WTO arrangement and implementation and administration of trade agreements. Functions of WTO, administrating and managing and considering trade agreements, forum for trade negotiations, handling trade disputes, monitoring national trade policies, and plays a critical role in shaping global trade policy by resolving disputes, promoting fair trade practice and integration developing countries into the global economy. While it has faced challenges and criticism, it has a contribution to creating a more predictable and stable international trading environment are significant. It takes the cooperation with other international organizations, monitoring the national trade policy, principles that the pillars of World Trade Organization without discrimination, no discrimination, most favored nations treating other people equally and country equally, treating foreigners and locals equally, free trade, gradually through negotiation, predictability through the spending and transparency, and promoting fair competition, encouraging development and economic forum. It's the structure of World Trade Organization. It's the chain of World Trade Organization. Ministerial Conference, Dispute Settlement, General Council, Trade Policy Review, Document, and the TAD, Good Council, Intellectual Property, Services Council. That's heard, and second is a part of the chain.
Hamdi, are you part of this group? Hamdi, are you part of this group?
Yeah.
Hamdi, I'm asking.
Yes, I am.
Please, could you start from
Yes.
there?
Can you hear me?
Could you please start from there where Mr. Mohammed Saldid has reached?
Where I start to? From role
exactly
of WATO.
The role of, yes, that is World Trade Organization.
Okay. The main goal of WATO is sorry. The main goal of WATO is to help the trading industry to become smooth, fair, free, and predictable. It was organized to become the administrator of multilateral trade and business agreements between its members. This topic it explains WATO it helps trading industry in between two members. It supports all occurring negotiations for latest agreements for trade. Number two, multilateral agreements are always made between several countries in the past. Because of this, such as agreements become very difficult to negotiate, but are so powerful and influence. Go to next slide. I'm not getting. Agreement on trade-related investment measures. Trade-related investment measures refers to certain conditions or restrictions imposed by a government in respect of foreign investment in the country. The agreement of trade-related investment measures provides that no contracting party shall apply any trade-related which is inconsistent with the WATO articles. In my opinion, this topic explains the agreement on trade related is it means restrictions imposed by government in respect. Number two, agreement on trade relation related aspects of intellectual property rights. It's an international agreement administered by the World Trade Organization that sets down minimum standards for many forms of intellectual property, regulates as applied to nationals of other WATO members. Teacher, no, go back. Go to the previous slide. Number two, I did not get. Would you help me to understand it easy? Hello. Okay, we'll come back. Continue.
Agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual properties, property rights. That is agreement on trade-related aspects of international property. In other words, for this case, the WTO, because in most cases there is what we term as having ownership of a product or of a technology, ownership or any different aspects. So this WATO or the WTO had to bring in the agreements related to the intellectual property, who owns, and if in case of use that right, who is supposed to do what to benefit. So let us say a country like Somalia is involved in trade and it exports, let us say, camel meat. So it has the intellectual property over that meat wherever it goes, even if they tend to advertise using that meat in another country. Somalia has to be given credit, in other words, for its product, not someone using the Somalian product and then takes it on his or her advantage. Like the
Okay, next slide.
I want you to specialize. I want you to look at. How is the WTO resolving trade disputes? Yes, okay, that is the one you're trying to look at, the trade, right? Then also supporting the integration and developing countries into the global trading system. Okay, go on, but there are certain slides I have seen as if they are irrelevant. Go on, please.
Okay, thank you. The relevance of WATO contains, number one, the system helps the promote peace. The system allows disputes to be handled constructively. A system based on rules rather than power makes like life easier for all. It means based on rules rather than power. It means maybe they use rules rather than power makes life easier for all. Free trade cuts the cost of living. It gives us consumers more choice and broader range of qualities to choose from. I'm not getting the meaning. Please, can you give someone else, if it's possible?
Were you part of the discussion? The way it shows me that you were not among the people who gathered that information.
I'm the part, but I was so busy. Sorry. I can
not
explain, but the meaning I don't have.
Which other member do I have in this group? Which other member do I have in this group? Let me check for other members. I have to check these people one by one. Farhan Abdinasir, which group are you? Group A?
Yeah, I'm group A. Group B, group B.
You're group B?
I'm group, yeah.
Farhan, no, I'm not seeing you in group B. I'm seeing you in group
Group A, Farhan's group A.
Yeah, group A. Sorry. Sorry, group A.
Bishal Abdullah Omar. Bishal Abdullah Omar, are you available?
Yes, Prof, I can hear you.
Okay, go on, please. Start from there.
Okay. These are the agreements that was being prepared by WATO, World Trade Organization. The WATO is rules based on rules that are negotiated agreements. Number two, overview of negotiable guides. Bilateral agreements. Further changes on horizon, the Doha agenda. Some of the agreements of WATO include tariffs, more binding and closer to zero. The agricultural agreement, a new rule and commitments. Textiles back in the mainstream. Intellectual property protection and enforcement.
Okay, when we talk of tariffs, wait before you get there. When you get back to the previous slide, there is one of tariffs. What do they mean? Tariffs more binding and closer to zero. What do they mean?
That means tariffs, for example, the countries, they should have, for example, Somalia, they are good in production for farmers' product. That means when Somalia is exporting its products to other countries, other neighboring countries, they should not put more taxes for that taxes for that products, so that the Somali people can get more benefit to exporting that products. But unfortunately, if they put more taxes for that products, Somali's products the Somali people will not get more benefit for that products.
Okay.
So
that is
it
great.
means
That is
the
great.
tariff is more
That is
building
great.
and close to zero. But if
You
they are
can go
putting a
on to the
taxes,
next slide. Go
okay.
on to the next slide. That is good. I was checking
The
if
agreement.
you attended.
Okay. Let me.
There's recent issues.
No, the other slide. No, the other is go back.
The previous one.
The other. Yeah, this one.
Okay.
The agreement. Yes, this one. This one. The agreement covers 5 broad issues: how basic principles of the trading system and other international intellectual property agreements should be applied, how to give adequate protection to intellectual property rights. This means every country's product should be protected. Every country's item, if it is like steel, if it is like a watch, any product is that product's right should be protected. How countries should enforce those rights adequately in their own territories. How to settle dispute on intellectual property between members of the WATO. Special transitional arrangements during the period when the new system is being introduced. Next. Recent issues. 24 participants from the world are attending 2-month advanced trade policy from 18 January to 11 March. That was 2016, to discuss about these issues, how to develop the policies implemented by WATO. Let me call this for addressing macroeconomic imbalance through cooperation, transparency machine for mechanism for preferential trade arrangement is set for approval, market access for least developing countries, how to give market access for least or the current countries who are developing. Trade agreements between developing countries. Also, trade policy review, ensuring transparency. Trade agreements aimed at facilitating access to essential medicines in poor countries. Next slide. Conclusion. WATO is the place where member countries comes and talks together and shares their grievances in order to resolve their problems related to international trade. WATO it is the way people or the ministries who are presenting for all countries, member countries, to come and discuss and give idea in order to solve their problems. The countries make their decision through various councils and committees whose membership consists of all WATO members. The system also helps peace by handling dispute of member countries. It provides free trade, which cuts the cost of living. It also provides more choice of products and qualities and simultaneously economic growth. The WATO agreement, go back please. The WATO agreement covers goods and services and intellectual property.
You can go on to your last slide. Others, I'm going to post them immediately from here. I will post them on the class, such that we can get to understand more. Everyone go please. Yeah. But the issue is, I told you to make a maximum of 15 slides. You're having 22. That's why their time is not allowing us to. Okay, take me back to the list. Take me back to the list. That was slide number 2. Take me back to slide number 2. Yes. I want to see. Muhammad Sahal Didi presented, Hamdi presented, even though was not ready, was not part of the group that collected the data. Naja present, Kafio present, Bishal, Livan. Where is Livan? Livan absent. Did he participate? Did Livan participate? And Kader. Did Kader participate? I don't think. You people, are you hearing me?
Yes, Prof.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I hear you.
Did Kader participate on Kader and also Livan?
He Liban and Abdul they presented.
What about Kader? Kader.
Others. Liban participated the preparation of the
Okay.
presentation.
Okay, like today, I wanted to share something small related to the part you have concluded, that is Group B. There is something I wanted to finalize with. Basing on your presentation, it is almost exactly. Oh no. Let me see. Okay, I never changed the. We are looking at lecture 6, but we're looking at global imbalance of nations. And among the global imbalances we looked at, it was the currency, the currency crisis in our last meeting, whereby I said that the currency, there is one of the 2008, 2007, 2008, 2009, which emanated from the USA, and then it spread all over to the other countries. So when you look at these global turbulences, are always as a result of saving and investment gaps, which tend to affect the entire system. Then exchange rate policies, once they're not well managed, also tend to be difficult. Then fiscal policies. The reason that's why I'm just passing through this is that I've been looking at these same things, but in different dimensions. So economic structure and also global financial flows. All these tend to drive the imbalances within the capital rich countries investing heavily in the poor countries. So the role of international institutions, yes, you have been looking at the World Trade Organization. For that one, trying to protect the producer's right. In other words, those are the international trade areas whereby you're allowed to integrate or work trade with other members within the regions. So we're seeing that now we are having also an addition of the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and also the WB or the World Bank. So we think that one of the role of the international institutions, like in the IMF, it looks at the surveillance and the monitoring of all activities, global economic trends, and provides assessment of economic policies of member countries. Like you've seen the WTO, even the IMF, when it comes to financial activities, it acts as the overseer of everything. Then financial assistance, we have seen it has given donations to different developing countries, and also trying to decide directions on how to implement and improve the balance of payment positions. Then also policy coordinations, guiding on how to avail different policies in different nations. Then even the World Bank has done the same development assistance, whereby infrastructures like roads, loans have been granted to most of the developing countries so that they can achieve the infrastructure establishment. Then capacity building in terms of training and expertise to help countries develop sound economic policies and institutions. Then also research and data has been availed to those nations that need it for development purposes as they try to compare their trajectory to growth and development. The policy coordinations for global stability, we have seen more of the harmonization of the trade policy, like the WTO, what it has done. Then also macroeconomic policy coordination, countries collaborate to align fiscal, monetary, and exchange rate policies to achieve global economic stabilities. For example, the G20 meeting serves as a platform for policy coordination among major countries. Then also, we're looking at the financial regulations and supervision, enhancing global financial regulation to prevent crises and ensure stable capital flows. Institutions like Financial Stability Board play a key role. Structural reforms and crisis management mechanisms has been put in place all by the IMF and the World Bank together. So understanding and addressing the cause of global imbalances and enhancing policy coordinations, countries can work toward a more stable and a balanced global economy. So when you look at those scenarios whereby countries have to work together, then it takes us to what we're terming as economic integration, whereby now countries work together towards a common goal and also see that there is trade efficiency amongst these nations. So case in point, we're having the recent one is the East African Community, which is being put in place, and of recent, Somalia has joined the East African Community. I don't know whether it is made official or not yet, but I think just this year, yes, it has been made official that Somalia is part of the East African Community. It is also part of integration. So economic integration involves the unification of economic policies between different states, which may include the reduction and elimination of trade barriers. Those are tariffs, and also coordination and also then customs unions theory. We are seeing this was postulated by the Jacob Viner. It differentiates between trade creation and also the trade diversion. So in other words, what happens where trade barriers lead to more efficient allocation of resources, and trade diversion, we tend to shift trade from more efficient supplier outside to the union, less efficient one within. So we tend to see in most cases, these coordinations are done to see that the integration is effective. There are five cases we tend to follow when we are following up the trade union or the economic integration. We start with the free trade area, whereby we eliminate tariffs amongst the member countries like Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, Sudan, and now Somalia. It becomes they remove the tariffs amongst the member countries. Then customs union, here they come up with a common tariff. They come up with a common tariff on a non-member. So what happens if, let us say, China is importing or exporting in any of these East African countries? They must have a common tax they charge a non-member. Let it be importation or exportation. Then common market, free movement of goods and services and capital together. Then economic union, common market plus harmonized economic policies, which includes even coming up with a common currency, which is supposed to use it by all the members. Then political union, it also involves coming up with the military and also policies, political governance, which combine or guide in integration of or working together of these integrated nations. So example is like the European Union. They have got a single market, and they have got a customs union, common agriculture policy, regional development fund, and economic external trade policy. So the effect of that, or the benefit, it has enhanced the trade and investment flows. Then the second one is the North American Free Trade Agreement. So now replaced by the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, NFTA was a trilateral trade bloc in the North America. Now we are seeing it has eliminated the tariffs tariffs on most goods traded between the US, Canada, and Mexico. Then the impact is still, it has increased the trade, investment, and job creation, but also concerns over job losses because of the inefficiency within the labor markets in one country can result to other country losing, employed individuals losing their jobs because of free movement of labor force. If you find that, like the US, the individuals are more skilled, as they go to Canada and Mexico, they're going to be privileged and highly demanded. So making the employed individuals within Canada and Mexico to lose their jobs. So also, yes, economic integration is of advantage, but it has got also a disadvantage. So we're seeing under the impacts, there is economic growth, creation of trade, and also diversion, then also convergence and divergence in terms of the narrowing income gaps and also widening the disparities. Widening the disparities is like the example I've given. You are in the Canada, Mexico, and the US are in the same economic integration. But what happens? US is more efficient. So it means that products from the US are likely to be dominating the most of the markets. So meaning the Mexico and also the Canada are likely not to be benefiting just like the US. Political and social impacts, these tend to come where you lose your confidence and also sovereignty you as a country. All these are as a result of economic integration. These are all as a result of economic integration.